and welcome to your new favorite Bookish podcast, Fully Booked and Caffeinated. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Heather.
And today we have our monthly bonus episode, Bookish, Banter, and More, where we discuss the other books we've been reading this past month and whether we recommend them, and also our other favorite pop culture obsessions. This is February's recap, and I don't have that many exciting things to say about February other than it's Girl Scout cookie season. So that's wonderful news.
Okay, but wait, no, because Girl Scout cookies do not taste the same as they used to.
I agree with you. I wonder if that is something to with the magic wearing off or the cutting corners in the production lines. I'm not sure. They also, like, our region doesn't have the same names as the traditionals. So, like, I was munching on Samoas before we started recording, but they are called Caramel Delights.
Yes. And I got some Girl Scout cookies. I supported a girl in our development, and I was very disappointed. They didn't taste how they normally do. So, not a fan.
So the moral of the story is you still have to buy Girl Scout cookies because you have to support the young entrepreneurs, but
just
then
don't
you
be
can
surprised.
go on to Walmart and buy the Walmart brands because you know they got copycats of all of the Girl Scout cookies. All right, so what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
The Tagalongs.
I knew you were going to say that. You're a big Reese's girl, so you're going to be a big
chocolate
Tagalong
girly.
girl. You are. I'm a Thin Mint and Samoa girly, but I don't say no to any of them, really.
No, and actually, I did buy the lemon ones, and those were actually my favorite ones that I had from my recent batch. They were
those
really
are
good.
Like shortbread, right?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, as I get older, I'm just becoming a little old lady because I love anything lemon flavored, like lemon desserts.
Lemon flavored cookies. Yeah. That's funny. You're a mom now.
I know.
Okay, so other than Girl Scout cookies, what are you drinking, Heather?
Oh, I have my usual Starby drink of iced white chocolate mocha with oat milk.
Sounds delicious.
And hopefully I'll be able to fall asleep.
You haven't had that in a while. Well, not while we're recording.
No, I haven't actually. Because I actually haven't been loving my Starbucks. I feel like they haven't been making the drinks that great. I don't know how to describe it. So I kind of haven't been going, but Eric wanted a drink.
You just needed a little break.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll get a drink.
Okay. I'm having a tea. I was going to have a cocktail because we're recording at night, but it's Thursday. Work was busy. Tea sounded better. Actually, no, now that I'm thinking about it, drink sounds better. I made the wrong choice. Whatever. I'm having a tea. Someone bring me some whiskey to spike this tea. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. So do you want to kick us off with your other reads for February, non-pod books?
Yes, sure. I have 4 in total. And 2 are for 2 different book clubs. So that's fun. So the first one was our book club. We read The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which we know we're Riley Sager girlies now. He's probably one of the very few male authors that I truly love. It was good.
So true.
It was very good. It was my 3rd book I've read by him, and I will definitely read more. And then I also read, well, actually, this was an audiobook, The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. So she's the author that wrote that super popular fantasy series Fourth Wing that's been around the past few months. I do own it, have not read it, but I think she started with contemporary fiction and romances because that's what this was. It was also a very long audiobook, so I'm assuming the book itself must be huge because I want to say the audio was over 15 hours. It was like maybe 16 hours.
Oh, wow.
I could be exaggerating, but it was very, very long. So, but it was good. It takes place in 2 different timelines, the 40s and then present day. I do recommend it, but it is long, I will just say.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how daunting the physical book is because the audio.
Was it a good audiobook?
It was. It was because they did the female narrator. She had to do a couple like European accents and she did pretty good. Like British. Nothing like crazy. But it was good. So I do recommend it. And then I read The Last Flight by Julie Clark, which you read a few months ago. I like flew through this one. I like had to know what was going to happen. It was a very
so good.
Definitely recommend if you're looking for a quick thriller read that you want to just get out of the way, because that's what this was. It didn't make you think too hard, although you do want to know what's going on, but it was good. I really enjoyed that. And then my favorite read this month, which is for my mom book club, that our first time. We're meeting this Sunday, so that'll be fun. I read Finlay Donovan is Killing It by El Casamano, I want to say her last name is. Oh my God, this book was so good. I was like halfway through it, not even, and I texted you and I was like, I need you to put this on your TBR
You were like
immediately.
10 pages in,
Literally.
and you were like, you need to read this. I was like, wait, you didn't even finish it yet.
I know, because I just knew, and it was so, I will say though, a lot happens, like too much, but it works kind of thing. Like there definitely was so much going on, but it didn't take away from like the story, which I was like happy about. And there's 2 more books. It's like a series now, so there's 2 other books and then a little novella. So I definitely will be reading those. So
and what genre is it?
I don't
just like contemporary fiction?
Because but it's also like kind of like thriller, but not really. Like I don't know. Like a lot of murder happens in it, but it's also like funny.
Okay, so a little like dark comedy thriller.
I would go with dark comedy. Yeah, I would do like a dark comedy thriller because it's. I just can't wait for you to read it. I can't wait for you to read it so that I could talk about it with you.
I am on the wait list at the library, so it's in my queue.
In your
don't
queue.
Worry. I've got a while to wait, but I've got books to fill my time.
Yeah, I think we both do. Daunting. But yeah, so those are my books aside from our episode books. That's what I got through this month.
That's great. So you had a very successful month.
I did, because it was like 6 in total, I think, that I read. So
yeah, and ones that you really liked.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. All right. Well, I started with The Great Gimmelmans by Lee Matthew Goldberg. This book was given to us by the author in exchange for our honest review.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
I did do a more in-depth review, still spoiler-free, but more in-depth review on our TikTok, so you should go check it out. But absolutely loved this book. I'm so happy the author reached out to us. I don't think I ever would have even found this book because it's just a contemporary fiction. Like there is some crime, there is some murder, like there's all of these aspects, but it's not really classified as that type of book. So I'm super happy that I read it. It was very, very good. And it was the same kind of thing. Like there was a good balance between humor and some really messed up situations because the whole book is told from the POV of the 12-year-old son. So it kind of gives like a little bit of levity, which I like.
Interesting.
I didn't think I was going to like that, but I ended up liking it because the son is a little badass. So it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth. Surprisingly, I really liked this, and I know that I always come on these episodes and I say that I don't like low-stakes domestic thrillers, which is what this was, but one of the main characters, Fern, was so unique and quirky, and she just had so much character growth. It was also like you kind of knew what the twist was from the beginning, but then it just like slow burned to the end, which I like.
Okay.
It was surprising. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did.
And you've read a couple of her other books. I have The Mother-in-Law. That's the one that I have, but I know you've read a couple of her books.
Yeah, I liked Mother-in-Law. I mean, she's just a consistently good writer, but they are all this same type of like domestic thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read Mary by Nat Cassidy. I have been wanting to read this for like a year because it's on this very niche side of TikTok that I'm on, which is just like weird horror books.
Okay.
This book is so freaking weird. Like it's kind of confusing. It's trippy. It's really gory, but I loved it. Like, I was just like, at the end, I was like, wait, what? So I know that this won't be for everyone, but if you're into this, like, quirky cult horror with unreliable narrator, there's tons of misogyny. I feel like I'm not selling it. But if you're in the niche group who would like this, I think you already know about it. So you don't need me to tell you.
Probably, right?
Yeah, like, this isn't a book that you're just going to stumble upon.
No.
But if you're thinking about reading it and you think you might like it, give it a try because it's a good one. And then this is a rough one. I read Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. And I was so excited for this book because we read
Hyde,
and I really liked that one. I didn't love it, but I really liked the concept of it. This one was just not for me at all. I couldn't stand the main character in like a distracting way. Because I don't care if it's like an unlikable main character. Usually I'm just like on board with it, but it was actually distracting. And for me, supernatural books, they need like a hook to bring you in because you're suspending your disbelief. It's the same with like a fantasy book. Like you automatically are removing yourself from reality to absorb yourself in this supernatural world. So if there's nothing that gets you hooked from the beginning to get invested, you're just kind of like, oh, this is cheesy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't into it. I think that some people will definitely like this, but unfortunately just not for me. So then I read Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I had to get this one in while it's still cold outside. This is a winter read. It's snowy. It's atmospheric. They're stranded on a snowy mountain. There's no avalanches. Are there? No, there's no avalanches. But it's super creepy. It's like a creature feature.
Oh.
So there's like a scary monster. Narrator's great. And it has this very ominous feel, which I really like. I wanted a little more from the ending, but that didn't make me dislike the book.
Okay. So the book itself was still enjoyable, even though it didn't have the ending you had wanted.
Yeah, I feel like the build-up was so good and the ending just kind of like fell flat, but the build-up was really good. So still worth reading, I think.
Good.
And then What Never Happened by Rachel Housel Hall, which we had talked about on last month's episode. This was so chaotic, but in a good way. The main character is very unreliable. She's unraveling. She's having a very rough time. And she's just spinning out of control. So that's why it's chaotic in a good way. But the ending was like super rushed. And they introduced a bunch of different storylines. And all of them were really interesting. But then they just kind of rushed to the end and didn't explore any of those other storylines. So it wasn't my favorite, but I want to read more from her because the idea was there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So she's still on my TBR, but this one was not my favorite. And then my book of the month choice for February was The Resort by Sarah Ox, possibly. This one, super twisty, typical thriller, fast-paced. It's got this like awesome secluded island resort setting. So it would actually be a really good beach read. I think Book of the Month messed up by giving this to me in February. But anyway, that's not the point.
But can I also just give you kudos for actually reading the Book of the Month in the month that you bought it? Because I have to tell you, that's rare. Not even just for me. Like for a lot of people, they'll get the book and then they just don't read it right away.
I was kind of surprised too because I finished it and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost time for my next Book of the Month box. Like this is exciting. But I also don't buy books new very often. So when I got this book and I got Butcher and Blackbird, they were so crisp and new looking. And I was like, wow, I need to dive into that book. Like, I was
so
just so happy to get a brand new hardcover. And now, obviously, I mean, it was like battered in shipping, but it's still new to me. Okay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I really like the setting of this one. All of the characters were horrible. They're just so, all of them had some serious issues. Okay. And most of their motivations were just paper thin. Like, this was just a thriller of people looking to cause trouble. You know what I mean? But I do recommend it if you're looking for a typical twisty thriller.
Okay.
Like, it was good. It was just not my favorite. Yeah. Not amazing. And then I think this is my favorite read. It's kind of tied with Great Gimmelman's, but I read that at the beginning of the month. So this one has a leg up because I just finished it. The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding, which I actually listened to the audiobook on Spotify. I really like this one. This is another typical super twisty thriller, dark, definitely psychological thriller. But this one had so much more character development. So you're more invested and like the twists hit harder, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Because you actually like care about what's happening to these characters. You know what I mean?
One of those.
And this is also, it gave me Julie Clark vibes because it's like two different women's POVs and they're both just kind of like struggling to be resilient, fighting back, escaping their circumstances. Like, it definitely gave me those kind of vibes.
Okay.
So I think that you would like this one too.
All right. Actually, I do have that. That is one of my 500 Goodreads to reads.
Don't tell me the number again. It makes me crazy.
It was actually funny because I had honestly marked that as want to read like months ago, and I remembered the cover so vividly because I thought it was a cool cover. And I saw that you posted it, and I was like, I wanted to read that one. I was like, I'm not going to tell her that.
Yeah. Well, no, I had seen that it was popping up recently all over TikTok. And it's not
okay.
a
All right.
new book, but like, I guess recently a lot more people are talking about it. And then it just came up on my Spotify and I was like, I might as well just listen to it because...
I'm sure there was just one viral video about it because that's all it takes now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then everyone else who follows those same influencers also starts talking about it. So it makes sense. All right. So are there any upcoming releases that you're looking forward to?
So there wasn't any that I was specifically looking forward to, but I had mentioned that I had recently signed up for NetGalley to read some arcs. And I started one that actually, it comes out this month. I know I wrote it down on my notes. So it actually comes out at the end of the month. It comes out March 26th, and I'm about almost 30% in, and I really, really like it. So it's called How to Solve Your Own Murder. Kristen Perrin. It's Knives Out meets like an Agatha Christie. Like it's Agatha Christie vibes, but fun. Like really, really fun. Yeah. So I'm like, I am. And it's also takes place in like a small British town. Like there's cobblestones, stuff like that. So I do so far think I will love this book. So it comes out this month, or it comes out in March 26th. So that was pretty much, there weren't any like big books coming out quite yet in March that I was super looking forward to.
Yeah. The only one that I saw was Simone St. James has a new book coming out called Murder Road.
Yeah. I haven't read anything yet, so I can't give my 2 cents because I still have not read a book.
I've read 2 by her and I like them both. I have one more that I haven't started yet, but overall just a good author. So, and she always does dual timelines. So I'm assuming this one will be the same, but yeah, I'm excited for that one. And then whatever the book of the month choices are, we're recording this on the 29th, so they have not been posted yet, but
no, but I am excited because I'm officially, at some point this past year, I became a BFF on the book of month, and I actually get one of the finalist books for free included in my box.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I won't say what one because I don't want to give it away quite yet, but there was a book that was a finalist that I think I want to do for April. So I think I'm gonna buy it. Well, it's free, but when it comes with my box, so I was like, "Oh, this is fun."
Okay, yeah, because I still don't know your book for April, so it's gonna be
because I think
a surprise for us.
I just changed my mind 100 times because there's just too many books, and I'm like, "What do I want to do now?"
You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. But we do have 2 crazy ones coming up next month, so
yeah, March will be fun.
Yeah. All right. So there's obviously book news, but last month was a lot. And we talked about a lot of different things. So we're taking a month off from book news, okay?
That's
Go on
fair.
Book Talk. You're going to get depressed. You guys don't need to hear me rant about racist people on Book Talk for now, you know?
We're like
I'll be back to it next
reprieve
month.
from everything. We bring the fun stuff.
Yeah, January, I was in my seasonal depression. I was like, let's drag some fucking people. Now I'm like, spring is coming. The groundhog said we're on our way up. It's still cold and not great, but whatever, it's fine. Anyway, so on to more exciting things, which is what TV shows, what movies, what podcasts, what's been taking up your month besides the Girl Scout cookies? We already talked about that.
Yeah, the Girl Scout cookies were so disappointing, but as we know, our favorite show that is also terrible, Love is Blind, is officially back, and what a doozy these past 3 weeks have been.
I don't know what's better, the actual show or going on TikTok afterwards and just seeing all of the like creators' reaction videos. It's a package deal. It's so good.
I know that they do this whole rigmarole of they do evaluations, they do interviews, mental health checks, yada, yada, yada. I don't believe that because the people that they cast on this show, I think they purposely put the people on that are going to be terrible. And
I 1000% agree. And then they're like, internet, do your job, find the dirt on these people. We already know about it, but we're gonna make you fall in love with them on the show at you, Trevor, and then we're gonna rip it out from under you. think it's the same thing that like Bachelor does. They cast
Oh my
obviously
God.
certain people who they're going to be able to manipulate to cause drama and all this stuff.
Although
I
I
mean, it's
will
brilliant,
say,
but it's frustrating.
the season of The Bachelor, it hasn't been bad. I've liked most of the people they casted. The women that are like considered the drama people, they're not even that bad this season. And I actually liked, even though they were issues, like, I still like liked some of them. So it was
the drama was so petty that they had to like amplify it.
They had to.
You know what I mean?
But
like it was just not good.
Joey is just a perfect cinnamon roll, and everyone wants to be with him. So you can't get much drama out of that. I
mean, me included. I love the man. I don't know him, but I love him.
I don't think there's one person that dislikes him because he's just literally
I'm about
perfect.
to take up tennis. Let's do it. Anyway, God, if he turns out to be shitty,
I'll be so mad.
I'll be so upset.
I'll be so freaking mad.
I'll be so betrayed.
What else
I don't think he will. It's okay.
So, reality show wise, I don't remember if I talked about it on last month. I'm sure I did, but Love Island All-Stars, we were just discussing. I was kind of disappointed with this season. It wasn't what I was hoping for, and they didn't do a Love Island All-Stars Casa Amor, and that's just blasphemy, so whatever. But obviously still good entertainment, but didn't love it. You started Traders UK, which in turn made me want to watch it, and I have like 2 more episodes left. It's really, really good.
It's so good. If you are into Traders USA,
watch the UK
and you are
for sure.
dreading having to wait a week between episodes, Traders UK is also on Peacock, and so is Traders Australia, which I also started. I think I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in. It is very different, where the UK and the US one, they're very similar.
Like basically the same, the first seasons.
Yeah, the same challenges. They stay in the same castle. Australia's completely different, and they stay in like a hotel.
Oh.
Which is kind of weird. I don't know. And even like the traders get these cool masks. I don't know. It's very different, but it's fun.
I am going to start that after I finish UK.
Yeah. UK is really good though.
And then a show that Abbott Elementary came back, season 3. It's just literally amazing. And if you actually, our friend Kristen, whose TikTok is Teacher Pay with K, she does recaps every week too. So I love to go because I'm like, oh, she does a recap of the show because no one else I know watches it. So yeah, that's really good. Next Level Chef is back. We know that I have an obsession with Gordon Ramsay. That's probably unhealthy. So I've been watching that. You have not watched Saltburn yet. So I'm not going to discuss it because you're going to watch it in March. I'm going to sit there and make you watch it if you don't.
So
that we can have a full discussion on this bonus episode because there's too much to discuss and I need you to watch it.
All right, I'm scheduling it for next month so we can have an in-depth discussion about Saltburn.
And that's all I'll say about
apologize in advance because I kind of know what I'm getting myself in for. But okay.
And then I also listened to today, actually, finally, the Misha Barton episode of Call Her Daddy, and it was so good. I learned so much about her that I had no idea about, and it explains so much. The way that she was portrayed, I think especially as like Marissa Cooper on the OC, you kind of thought that she was going to be like this party girl and everything, and that was kind of the vibe I got before she, like, even on the show. But coming onto the show, she was actually like very inexperienced, had never had a boyfriend. So basically Ben McKenzie was like her first boyfriend, which I had no idea.
So crazy.
I know. So, but she's been through a lot of shit, but the episode was really good, and I highly recommend it. I remember
she was on The Hills also.
I don't know. I didn't watch I know. I'm one of the few that didn't watch those shows.
Well, she was on not the old The Hills when it came back.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Older. Misha Barton was on it. And it was crazy because, like, you never really saw her in the limelight after the OC very much. And she did, even in that show, which, like, is obviously scripted and stuff, she came off different than I would have expected. So, like, she just didn't seem as, like, thick-skinned as everyone made her out to be.
She doesn't really do interviews. So, but I know her and Alex Cooper have been trying to schedule this for a while, and they were finally able to make it come to fruition. And it was just very good. So I highly recommend it.
That's crazy. I feel like a lot of people, because even like Christina Aguilera hadn't done a podcast before, and her first
Mhm.
one was Call Her Daddy. I feel
I
like a
think
lot of people are
they
like,
just
if I'm going
love
to pick
they just
one,
love Alex Cooper.
yeah. And not for nothing, Alex Cooper finds a way to relate to every single
Well, she
guest that she has
does.
on, which
And
is
then
awesome.
she did a whole episode on friendship boundaries too this month that I listened to that was really, really good as well. And
Hmm.
so I also recommend that because we've discussed it plenty of times. Growing older, friendships come and go and everything, and it's
Hmm.
just, especially if you're in your 30s, I highly recommend it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was really good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
gotta
think
listen
that
to
was
that.
my pop culture. I think that's everything. Who knows? Something might pop into my head, so we'll see.
Probably.
I
All
know.
right, so I watched the first episode of Deal or No Deal Island, which, yes, is as ridiculous as it sounds, but the only reason that we even knew about it is because Boston Rob is on it.
Hmm.
And it seems good so far. I mean, it seems ridiculous, but it seems good. Like, they just are so desperate for new reality TV
They'll
show
do
ideas.
whatever they want.
It's getting out of control, but who's going to watch it? We are.
100%. I am
So,
like I'm too easy. Like it's just
mhm,
I'm in. No matter what, I'm
yeah,
in.
I
Like
agree.
we were talking about when we watched, what was it, Joe Millionaire? And the one
Yeah.
guy, Stephen McBee, his family, they're like cowboy. It's like a cowboy dynasty. I don't really know. But they have
Hmm.
a show coming to Peacock in a few weeks, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I don't
And
I'm
I
not
know
going
you are.
I'm not gonna like it, but I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I am invested in Stephen McBee's life, and I need to know what happened with
Oh
him and
my
Kayla.
gosh. Yeah.
Because they're still together.
Wow.
So I think they broke
That's
up for a little
baffling.
bit, but so I need to know
Still.
everything. Yeah,
Wow. I hope it's juicy, that show. You're gonna let us know
exactly.
how it goes. I also watched, I want to say like 5 or 6 episodes of Snake in the Grass. Have you heard of this show before?
Yes, but I've never watched it. Is that the one that Janelle was on?
Yes. So they have a bunch of episodes where they have either Survivor people, Big Brother people. There's
Okay.
obviously episodes with like random people also. The one episode that Janelle is on, it's Janelle, who's the red-haired girl from Big Brother.
Rachel?
She was on the, yes, her, Sari, and Stephanie from Survivor.
Oh, okay.
So it's like 2 Survivor girls and 2 Big Brother girls. And the show is not that good, but I will just watch anything that Suri is in. So obviously I watched like
Obviously.
several episodes to get to the Suri episode. And then there's other ones with like other Survivor people and stuff. It's basically, I think I watched it on Peacock. It's basically they're in the jungle for like 48 hours and
Oh,
they have to do
Jesus.
2 missions, and one of them is a snake and the other three. So like basically one of them is a traitor, the other three are
Okay.
faithfuls. And at the end they have to vote on who they think the snake is. And if 3 of them guess right, then they get the money. If they don't guess right, then the snake gets the money. But they get like
It's almost kind of like
clues.
that show we watched on Netflix, The Mole or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very similar to that.
Okay.
The only other thing was Survivor season 46
Started.
just premiered, just started, and I'm finally enjoying the new era. The past couple seasons have been great. So, as far as podcasts, Wine and Crime, we've obviously been listening to for a long time. If you're a follower of Wine and Crime, they had 3 hosts, now they have 2. One of their hosts left. And honestly, the new episodes just feel like so fresh and so much more lighthearted. I feel like they were just kind of getting like bogged down.
Yeah.
Like it was more of a job for them and you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like joking more, they're getting off track more. Like it's just the new episodes are definitely good.
I agree. I actually just listened to the Gossip on the Corpse Cart for this month, and they had their friend Robbie on. I was actually
Okay.
laughing out loud, and I don't ever really do that when I listen to podcasts, but like I was laughing because it was just so
Yeah.
funny, some of the stuff they were talking
Yeah.
about.
But yeah, so their new episodes are definitely fresher because I had stopped listening for a while because it was
Mhm.
just kind of
Me too.
repetitive. And
It was,
so
and
now
it was
I'm back
honestly
into it.
kind of boring. They weren't holding my interest at all.
Yeah.
Like we would listen to them in the car, and I would zone out constantly because it wasn't doing anything for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then I didn't know that Vinny from Jersey Shore has a podcast, but he
Okay.
does. And it's called Something Went Wrong. Vinny had Gabby Windy from
Oh my
Bachelor Bachelorette on.
God. I have to listen
And
to
they
it now.
basically just spend the entire episode talking about like lesbians and just how Gabby is a lesbian
I
now.
love
Like,
it.
and how they could have had some love affair, but she's a lesbian. So
Fantastic.
it's so funny. I mean, it's annoying because Vinny is kind of annoying and some, like he just says things before he thinks,
Yeah,
but it was a funny episode. So that was good. And I think that's it. It's basically been all reality TV this past month.
honestly, same.
No documentaries.
To circle back to book news, there was something I have, but it's not. It actually has to do with a past episode that we did. So I saw that
So it's catch up corner.
it's kind of, yeah. There you go. It's like a catch up corner. So Emily Henry is doing a deluxe edition of Beach Read.
Okay.
It's coming out it's not even going to be released until October 1st of 2024. But just number one, the cover looks beautiful. I'm going to send you the screenshot that I have because it's beautiful. But this is what it's going to look like. The deluxe version features glitter on the jacket type, gold foil stamping that features a reader favorite quote, and stunning end papers with a design that carries over to the stained edges of the pages.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll send you the screenshot, but it looks very pretty. So I thought that was interesting, and if anyone likes to buy special editions of books that they love, this one seems like a really pretty one.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to go first? Do you want me to go
Sure.
first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So Kelsey, tell me, if you could travel to one place you've read about in a book, what place would you visit, and what book was it from?
Oh, that's such a hard one. I'm not going to say Hogwarts because that's too obvious. And also, it's dangerous there. A lot of people die.
I know.
I feel like I'm trying to remember a specific book and I can't think of it. But basically, any book that takes place in like a tiny little town
Oh,
in the Northeast, like
on the
outside
water.
of Boston.
Yes.
Yes, on the water.
It's like a New Englandish type town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like definitely New England. I mean, even though it's cold, they just never seem cold.
There's just a vibe.
They seem cozy.
Mm-hmm.
They seem like they're just
I tell Eric
enjoying
all
the
the time,
scenery.
I would love to live in New England, but I don't like snow, so I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, like the weather is a little much for me.
Yeah.
But even just like you were talking about like the little cobblestone streets.
Mhm.
Okay, even like London Seance Society,
Yeah.
that area, but present day,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like the cobblestones, but then you can like go shopping in these little towns and these little markets, and all the buildings are super old and cool. That's where I'd like to be.
I like that. That is a good choice. Mine is from a fantasy book.
Okay. You know
And
what? You're doing it right. If you could pick
No, that's
somewhere,
okay.
pick a fake place.
no, because I also agree with yours. I think that it sounds very idyllic. So it's like I like where your head's at. Mine is the Night Court from the ACOTAR series. More specifically, you haven't really gotten into it yet, so it's in like a court of mist and fury. But as you read on, the Night Court just sounds amazing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Stay tuned for when I tackle the next book in the series. But when I was trying to look up photos for our TikTok on our
Don't
episodes,
spoil yourself.
There's so many spoilers. So many spoilers. I'm like, I know everything that's happening.
I wish you didn't. I wish I should have told you that.
I mean, I don't
You know
know
what?
the context.
Yeah, because I remember Vicky told me don't look up any art, like fan art, after like when I was reading ACOTAR, because there was so many spoilers for the future books, and she was like,
Yeah,
I don't
and
want you to be
because
spoiled.
You can't narrow it down because the whole series is that name. So it's like it doesn't narrow it down by the first book.
It doesn't.
So yeah, I definitely spoiled myself a little bit, but I didn't really know the context of anything, and some of it I already knew was going to happen anyway. So like, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, okay. So what makes it so great? Are you going to give spoilers if you tell me? The Night Court, I mean.
I feel like when you hear about it in the first book, you think it's going to be this like super scary place, and it's not. And there is a part in A Court of Mist and Fury, there's a chapter and something specific happens in the Night Court. It's like a really, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like an earthly event occurs. And it's just so the way that it's written, you feel like you're there, and I can only imagine what it would look like if it was real. And there's other parts of it as you read about it, but I think that it seems like it gets a bad rep in the first book, so you kind of have negative thoughts about it, and then when you read about it, you're like, oh, this place actually seems really nice.
Okay. All right, I like it. If I had to change my answer to a fantasy book, I would probably be with Daenerys and her dragons, but also another dangerous place. People are dying everywhere.
Yeah. It's almost like we were saying, oh, I want to go to the Hunger Games. Like, no, you don't. You don't want to do
Nope. Sure fucking don't.
that.
I want to go to one of the parties in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Where they got unlimited food.
I know, and you take that magic pill that makes you puke it all up so you can have more.
Yeah. I mean, that's me in my early 20s.
Right?
With drinks, not food. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Okay, so all right, so my book question. Out of your reads this past month,
okay,
who was your favorite character and why?
I actually want to go, and this not even because it was my favorite book this month, but Finlay Donovan in that book. She's just she's this mother of 2 young kids that's divorced, and she's a struggling author, and even though she is really down on her luck in the book, she just has this perseverance and grit that you wouldn't expect from her. And she's so witty and funny, and just all the things that happened to her throughout the book. I don't even know how she handled all of it, to be honest, but she was definitely a really strong female character that I really enjoyed.
Okay, I love that. All right, so mine would have to be Mary from the book Mary. So I think she's in her 50s.
Oh.
And she's like premenopausal. She's going through all these changes.
Fun times.
And she's having to deal with all these men telling her that the things she's going through are just side effects of menopause. Even though she's having hallucinations, she can't look in the mirror without passing out. She can't look at anyone else her age because their faces start melting off.
That's
like
wild.
It's not normal menopausal symptoms. And she's spent her entire life just being invisible and feeling unwanted and just lonely.
Okay.
And then it doesn't happen until she's in her 50s that she discovers her purpose and just starts fighting back against the patriarchy.
That's awesome.
And she does it in a kind of unconventional way. Yeah, like I said, it's very gory. It's a lot. But anyway, I was rooting for her. I was like, girl, you're finally hitting your stride. Good for you. And fuck all those guys who told you that you seeing other people's faces melting off was a side effect of menopause. That's not it. It's not it. Anyway, anything else that we need to cover?
No, I think that we always cover more than enough on these episodes, and we get sidetracked very easily.
We're becoming unhinged. Honestly, we need to stop now.
I think
it's unraveling out of control.
We have to do one full episode where we're both just completely buzzed, because I think that would be hilarious.
Oh, like how they do drunk dives on Wine and Crime?
Yeah.
That would be very fun.
Drunk dives on this.
If you guys want to hear us ramble under the influence, please let us know.
You think we're funny now?
Yeah. Wow. We think we're funny now. Don't even get us started. Anyway, that's all we have for you this month. We're sorry. You're welcome. If you like what you heard, please make sure to follow, subscribe, and rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. If you don't like what you heard, give our other episodes a try. Okay? The book reviews, we stay a little bit more on track.
That's true.
A little bit. If you have any book recommendations or questions for us, you can email us at fullybookedcalfpod@gmail.com. Also go and follow us on our socials to see our upcoming reads and also to see more reviews of the other books we're reading. We're on Instagram and TikTok at fullybookedcalfpod. Thanks for checking us out. And remember,
if you need us, we're fully booked. Bye.
Bye.